What is up, everybody? We are back with another race. Today we have a race from actually a few weeks ago. This is Wheeler Crit. It was the third week of the crit. This is just a local practice series here in the Oklahoma City area. About to say it's the same course as I showed last time, so nothing's changed on the course. Weather was primo tonight, so super solid. A little bit faster, I believe, as well. So kind of getting into that, we have the race stats for this race. Raced for just over 43 minutes. Did just under 19 miles, averaged 26.3 miles per hour. Average power was 295 with normalized being 300, so it wasn't that much of a punchy race. It was nice, solid effort. Probably one of the first races of the year so far that I really felt like my legs were finally coming under me and just felt good. As far as kind of team dynamics and stuff, it is me and Dorian with En Passant. We have a few guys marked and stuff that we want to kind of just see how we compare towards, stuff like that, but no big team tactics. After all, this is a practice race. We're both just trying to get some races under the legs before a lot of the sanction stuff starts to kick off. So outside of us, you have DNA Racing, so you got Ryan right there in front of me, and then I believe it's Chad in front of him, and I think they had like 6 or 7 guys tonight. You do have a few of the Omnia guys with Jason, and then I believe Dempsey and Emerson. They'll probably end up showing up a little bit later in the race. You have, I believe, Chad Cook with OKC Velo. He's always someone to watch out for. And then lastly, you have Evan McQuirk with Butcher Box. I know he just signed with him in the off season. He's rolling extremely well. To kind of give you an idea of how far or a few weeks ago this was, we are now just past Athens Twilight, and he just had an amazing showing there with a top 10. I forget exactly where he ended up placing, but he has the potential to easily blow it up, as you can kind of see is happening now, and with a few of the other guys making their way up the road. But outside of that, I'm just going to kind of let the race play out and then chime in where I see needed. It was a solid race, like I said, one of the first races of the year where I just really felt like legs were finally getting under me. And definitely stoke was high for just racing after this race, with the legs finally feeling decent in a racing setting. So here we are, 7 laps in, and this is going to be the start of kind of what ends up making it in the break and what doesn't. So you'll see you have Chad right there in front of Evan, and then me and Evan here slightly getting gapped off. I probably should have pulled through there. That was my bad. Legs weren't feeling the best right here at the start of the race, but they ended up coming around. But you see Chad attaching to Dempsey and teammate Dorian, and so they all are going to make their way up the road, and it is going to be myself, Evan right there, and then I believe we have Michael Vonnie with us and a few others, and then we will pick up a few and then also lose a few throughout the race, but myself, Evan, and Vonnie ended up going the distance, the 3 of us. So here is also last minute bridge attempt by Jason. I just wasn't able to hold that wheel and lost it. And then I believe he ended up attaching up there with them and stuff. But I know he's been having some bike struggles and stuff, so I'm not sure how he ended up doing, because I know we saw him again later in the race. So here we are about 13 laps in, and you'll see the first attack going up the road with our group, and that is Vonnie. He sees my teammate Dorian up the road and figures, or at least I assume figures, he'll get up there with them and see if they can't make it back up to the lead group. Say we have Chad here in front of me with OKC Velo. Me and him and Evan are kind of rotating turns. Not sure how much Evan's work is he's doing, being Vonnie's his teammate and stuff. But I think we ended up catching them not too far after they made it up. This little section right here, I believe, was a little bit of a headwind, maybe like 10, 15 miles per hour. I don't think it was anything crazy tonight. But yeah, we ended up, I think, chasing and catching them right here. Try to make it a group of 5 and see how far we can get with that. See if we can't make up some distance on the lead group. I think we started to make up a decent amount of time on them. I know Dempsey and Evan, I don't know if they were racing to their full capacity. I know Evan was like on a 100-mile day that day. And then Dempsey was, I think, for the most part, just kind of chilling, not really trying all that hard based off a conversation after the race. So, but we will come through for start of lap 15, and I believe that's kind of where either Evan pulls through or Chad, and eventually ended up, I think, catching them back on that backside. So here we are, like 75% of the way, if not farther, through the race. And for the most part, I've been doing exactly that, just kind of sitting on the back of these guys. Pulled through a few times, but for the most part, letting them 3 do the work. After all, they're all on a team together, so I know they're working on team dynamics, and I didn't want to get in the way in that, but then also I was not feeling like taking a pull, so I was going to just kind of let them do everything. And I think after a while, they finally got like, hey, that's enough. And you can see him kind of just letting go of a wheel. I quickly realized that and spiked the power up probably a little more than needed. But quickly hop on Vonnie's wheel and just sit in again. After this, I think I ended up taking like 1 or 2 more pulls, but coming into 5 to go, I tried to play my cards as best as I could. After all, it was a 3-on-1, 3 guys with DNA, and Evan, Vonnie, and then I'm honestly not sure the other guy's name. It's slipping my mind. I know he's Stillwater guy that had just came down for the day, but cannot remember the name for the life of me right now. So sorry for that. But yeah, I try to play my cards as best as I can to try to take home the sprint for this little group, and we'll see how that kind of plays out. So here we are with 3 to go, and the start of where I kind of played my cards wrong for the race tonight. We have Evan, and then Vonnie, myself, and then the other guy who I'm just blanking on the name. I believe he is on my wheel at this point. And then right here, Evan pulls off and Vonnie pulls through. I probably should have pulled through there and stayed on Vonnie's wheel, let Evan cycle back, and then hopefully they all come through together and give a lead out for Vonnie. But I think I was a little hyper-focused on staying on Vonnie's, or keeping Vonnie in front of me. I knew he was their sprinter for the night, the guy that they were most likely going to be working for and trying to get a decent result out of. So I probably was a little too hyper-focused on him, and you'll see that kind of play out in the next few laps. But hindsight's 20/20. It is a practice race, and so going forward, it's probably worth just taking that pull, spending a little bit of energy with 3 to go, and then saving some bullets potentially in the last few laps instead of having to try to cover something or anything like that. You'll also see right here, I kind of just let Evan go up the road. He puts in pretty hard dig. I wasn't willing to follow it this night, so I just kind of cruise at like solid power that I'm comfortable with, let him kind of go up the road, in hopes that either the other guy or Vonnie just kind of pulls through and keeps their train intact. and kind of on cue, Vonnie does. That's one of the benefits of racing with these same guys every night is you start to learn how they race and stuff. So I was kind of banking on him pulling through. He does. And I just kind of hop on his wheel, and we come into 1 to go. This is another point where I had a decent amount of speed coming out over the outside, and I probably should have just stayed on the power and either accelerated to get onto Evan's wheel, or potentially just sent a little last lap flyer and see if I can get it stick all the way to the line. After all, it's not that technical of a crit and stuff, but as you can see, I didn't. I just kind of stayed to my game plan for the night of just sticking on Vonnie's wheel. The other guy attacks from the back through the last few turns, and I believe he ended up taking that to the line for whatever place we were sprinting for. And I try to stick to this wheel like glue. It's kind of a running joke with me and Vonnie that I'm contractually obligated to stay on his wheel. Sometimes that gets the best of me, but try to give it as much as I can in the sprint. Hit almost 1,300 there, I believe, and had there been a little bit more real estate, might have had him, but I knew he saw about a half a bike length on me coming up to the line, so just kind of sat up and got ready for the final turn. But appreciate everybody watching. Stay tuned for the next race.